Ashfaq Khan, a technical consultant to CPEX Global. So today I'm going to have a video about the part 2, and this part 2 is a part of fingerprint trial in your press room. And in part 2, we will have a, a short, a brief review about the analog rollers and then engraved cylinders. If you have a roto g- gravier process in your printing area. So in we will have engraved cylinders and then flexo plates. So in part 2, we are going to discuss three parts, the three variables in the that we are commonly using in the press rooms: analog rollers, engraved cylinders, and flexo plates. Because without the standardization of the analog roller and grave cylinders and flexo plates, so your fitness test or your fingerprint trial, that is a baseline fitness test for your press rooms, is will be a useless practice. So when make sure when you are going to conduct a fingerprint trial in your press rooms, so you should standardize your analog rollers, your engraved cylinders, and your flexo plates. So if you are going to standardize your analog rollers before fingerprint trials or during fingerprint trials, and if you are going to standardize your engraved cylinders, flexo plates, so you will ensure the repeatability in your press rooms. So this is a very important to standardize analog roller, engraved cylinders, and flexo plate in your press rooms. So let's start with analog rollers. Yes. So, fingerprint trial and in print standardizations. First, we are going to discuss about the analog standardizations. First of all, you need to like what are the condition or variables regarding analog rollers you need to standardize before fingerprint trials and during fingerprint trials. So make sure you are standardizing manufacturers. If you are using the analog roller of Harper or Pamarco or Zecker, so you need to standardize what type of analogs you are going to use in your fingerprint trials. And after this, you should also use the same manufacturer analog roller in all printing jobs. Then what type of ID you have for your analog rollers? Then analogs base materials, what type of analogs base material? Either it's a mild steels, aluminum, or stainless steels. It's not good for your press rooms if you are conducting the fingerprint trial on mild steels, and then you are normal jobs you are running the stainless steels base materials in your analogs. So this is very important. Then coating hardness. Analogs hardness has a huge impact on printability, on printing process, on printing results. So make sure what is the coating hardness of your analogs rollers. Like it's 1100 or 1000, 1300s, or what type of like coating hardness of your analogs. Analog's roughness, either it's a 3 or lower than 3 or more than 3. So analog's roughness, then circumference, very important. What is the circumference of your analogs that you are going to use in your fingerprint tile and that you will use in your normal printing jobs after fingerprints? So make sure you also need to standardize the line screen. What type of line screen analogs you have in your press rooms, and what type of line screen you are using in your fingerprint trials. Are you using 160 or 400 or 300 LPI, whatever you are going to use in your fingerprint trial, so you should use the same in your printing job. Then cell volume. What type of cell volume your analogs having? Like what type of cell volume? 4.5, 6.2, or 8.1? So make sure when you are conducting the fingerprint trials, you should standardize your cell volume of your analogs roll also. Then cell shapes. What type of your analogs ruler has a cell shape? Either it's a hexagonals, diamonds, or trihelicals, or pyramids, or annular. What type of cell shapes your analogs has? It's useless if you will use in during the fingerprint trial cell shape hexagonals, and after fingerprint trial in normal printing you will use a diamond. Then cell depth. What is the cell depth of your analog roller that you are using during fingerprint trials? And cell screen, very important, because the cell screen play a key role to transfer the inks to the substrate or to the flexo plates. So cell screen is also very important, and you also need to standardize the cell screen of your analog roller before and during the printing uh, fingerprint trials in your press room. So these are the key variables of analogs rollers, like manufacturers, like ID numbers, like analogs base materials, coating thickness, coating hardness, analogs roughness, line screens, cell volume, cell shapes, and cell depth, and cell screen angle. So you should, if you are working in your press room, so you should standardize these variables. Then another very important in flexographic printing. Yes. Then if you are rotogravier printers or you are conducting the fingerprint trial on rotogravier machines, so you also similar to analogs rollers, you should also standardize the engraved cylinders variable specifications. Like who is the manufacturer of engraved cylinders? Types. What type of engraved cylinder you are using? Chrome thickness, because chrome thickness has huge impact on your ink transfers, has huge impact on your ink performance, and has huge impact on our all printing results. Cylinder roughness, very important. Then circumference, engraved directions, what direction you engraved your cylinders. Then cell volume, cell shape, cell volume, like what type of cell volume you are using in engraved cylinder during the fingerprint trial. Then cell shape, what type of cell shapes you have in your engraved cylinders. You have hexagonals, you have diamonds, you have trihelicals, pyramids, like what type of cell shapes. Cell depth, maybe 1 microns, maybe 50 microns, 25 microns, or 100 microns. So this is very important to check the cell depth. And cell screen. Either it's a 60, 45, or 30, 70, or 80, like what type of screen angle you are using in your engraved. So when you are, if you are a rotogravier printer, so make sure when you are conducting a fingerprint trial in your press rooms, you are keeping you are keep standardizing your all engraved cylinder variables: chrome thickness, chrome roughness, circumference, engraved directions, cell volume, cell shape, cell depth, and cell uh, angle, screen angle. Then another important variables: if you are flexographic printers and you are going to conduct the fingerprint trials in your press rooms, so You should also standardize flexoplate polymers variables, very important, because your mostly dot gains are coming from your flexoplates, your ink transfer from analogs roller to the substrate. The flexoplate is key playing key parts, important role. So when you during fingerprint trials or before fingerprint trial, you also need to standardize the flexoplates in your press rooms. So what type of variables you should standardize before conducting the fingerprint trials or after fingerprint trials or in normal days, in normal from job to job, from design to design, and from customer to customer. So you need to standardize your all variables. Like manufacturers. Who is manufacturer for your flexoplates? Either you are buying from DuPont, or you are buying from McDermott, or you are buying from Flints. So make sure when you are conducting the fingerprint trials with Flint flexoplates, so you should also use the same jobs. You also should use the Flint flexoplate during incoming jobs. Then plate relief depth. How much relief depth you are using? Maybe in fingerprint you will use 0.7 mm, or maybe in normal days you will use 0.9 mm. So it will not have good results. So you can face a multiple type of problems in your during your printing and during your values measurement. So you also need to check the relief depth. Then tackiness. I think you have a tacky plates or no, it's fine, because the tackiness plates also not only interrupt or transfer the inks to the substrate, but also pick the fibers and dust from the boards. So if your plate is tracky, then another plate hardness. What type of hardness you have for your plates? You have 40, or you have 50 or 70 or 80. So how many sure you have a plate hardness? Plate thickness. What is the plate thickness for your flexo plates? Then plate roughness. Either it's a 1.2 microns or more than this one or less than 1.2 microns. So plate thickness also has a huge impact on your printing process, and that is why when we are going to conduct the fingerprint trials, we are always keeping we are always standardizing our variables of flexoplate if we are flexographic printers. Then surface energy. What is the surface energy? Maybe 30, maybe 25, maybe 21, maybe 40. So what is the surface energy that you are using in fingerprint trials? Plate LPI. What is the range of plate LPI? Either 50, 70, 100. So you also need to standardize plate LPI. Dot shape, very important, because in flexographics, so the dots on plates help us to transfer the inks from analogs roller analogs roll to the substrate. So what you so each dot shape, the shape of each dot play a key role in the final printing results. So make sure what type of dot shape you are using in your flexo plate during the fingerprint trials, and after the fingerprint trials, when you are making a new flexoplates for the different designs. So if you are using in round dot shape, so you should use round dot shape, and then if you are using flat dot, so you should use a flat dots. Then back exposure. When you are in your pre-press area, when you are making the plates, so make sure you are going to standardize back exposure area. it's looks very hard to get the right printing or correct or outstanding printing without standardizing the back exposure of your plates. Then main exposure, what type of main exposure you are using? After wash out durations, how much wash out duration you are giving to the flexo plates when you are going to manufacture a flexo plate? Are you going to give 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? So it's a possible when you are going to make a plates for fingerprints, so you should give the same wash out time to your finger plate that you are going to design for your fingerprint trial in your press room and when you are printing on the normal jobs. Then washout solution, what type of wash? Either it's ester base or acid base or so alcohol base. So drying time, what drying time you are using for for your flexo plate during the fingerprint trials? And finishing this distribution durations. So then the second, a very important other parameter like post exposure. What type of post exposure you are giving to the your flex plate? Tape thickness. What type of tape, adhesive tape or mounting tape you are using for your flex plates? Maybe some one time you are using from China, one time you are using from Europe, and third time you are using from. So you will not have a same results. So make sure you also need to standardize your adhesive tapes. Adhesive tape hardness, maybe 70, maybe 60, maybe 20, and sleeve hardness. So the sleeves that you are also using for flexo plate mount, flexo plates, and also for printing. So you should also maintain the sleeve hardness, either it's 50, 70, 80, 90. Like what is the sleeve hardness? So this is a very important to keep standardizing the flexo plates variables during and after the fingerprint trials. So what we discuss in our this short video, we before conducting a fingerprint trial or during the fingerprint trial, we should standardize our analogs and we should standardize all variables related to the analogs ruler. We should standardize our engraved cylinders like roughness, like hardness, like circumference, like many more. And we also need to standardize the flexo plates, like plate thickness, plate relief depth, thickness, roughness, then what type of dot size. So this is a very important. If you are going to standardize all these variables before printing or before printing on machines, so you will not have only excellent printing results, but also will have a very vertical reduction of machine downtime and machine downtime, material waste, even ink waste, and you will have a like more efficient system. So thank you very much for joining for this short video and for watching this video. So please share this video with your other colleagues so they will be a more it will be more beneficial for them to understand what type of variables we should monitor during the fingerprint trial and why fingerprint trial is a very important in each press room. So in my next video, part 3, I will discuss about paperboard quality management, printing inks. How can we make a printing inks standardized during the fingerprint trials? How can we make a paperboard standardized during the fingerprint trials? And how we have a like machine setting or machine uh, setting. So let's have a wait for next video, and you will learn more about paperboard quality management, printing inks, and machine variables. And Dr. Bullet, thank you so much. Have a nice day.